WNBPA, who represents all of the players in the league, is doing that. It's just so messy. And when stuff like this continues to happen, it makes me think, will there not be a WNBA season next year? And I do think that would be so detrimental to the league and all the momentum that it has. People are already getting turned off because there is more drama than there is basketball in this league. And that's a fact. Like, that's a fact. There have been so many things that have just been dramatic.
This wasn't supposed to unfold this way. Opening day excitement, cameras set, then disorder. A benching, no whistle, rough fouls, silence from leadership, and suddenly one question erupted everywhere. Is the WNBA losing control of its own moment? By night's end, rumors spiraled. Emergency meetings, live apologies, and whispers so extreme they rattled the league. Stay until the end, because what followed pushed Adam Silver and the WNBA commissioner straight into damage control mode. The night was meant to celebrate growth, but what fans witnessed felt different. Momentum slowed, energy dropped, and frustration spread across social media in real time. Viewers kept pointing to the same problems: unchecked physical play, stars boxed in, and moments that felt managed rather than celebrated.
As for what Engelbert is alleged to have said to Collier, if she actually suggested Caitlin Clark should be grateful for what she makes off the court, that's preposterous. Did you miss the Iowa years? Clark is the Tiger Woods tide that lifts all boats. And we know this show is proof. The highest rating we have ever had followed one of her games at Iowa. The WNBA has benefited from her presence more than the other way around, even though this year for Caitlin Clark was essentially lost to injury. But it's a league that's at a flashpoint. According to Sportico, franchise valuations have soared. Players want more money and the CBA expires at the end.
The phrase opening day disaster began trending, not because of a single play, but because of a pattern. Then came the benching. Not just rotation, not just matchups. Fans took it as a message. Why sit your biggest draw during your biggest spotlight? Commentators argued it. Former players questioned it. Online, the mood shifted from excitement to anger. This wasn't noise anymore, it was backlash. Clips flooded timelines. Hard contact, no whistle, play on. And when frustration surfaced, criticism followed. But not for the fouls, for the reaction. That's when the narrative flipped.
WNBA. Her estimated $8.1 million in income from her rookie season with the Indiana Fever was bolstered by big deals with Nike, Wilson, and Gatorade, and signals a shift in how female athletes are being valued in the world of professional sports. Last month, the Fever announced that Clark would be sidelined with an injury for the remainder of the WNBA season to focus on her recovery, but the injury doesn't change the fact that Caitlin Clark has, in the last 2 years, been the spark that lit the match that set women's sports on fire. And I love this little blurb because they just gave her the praise that she absolutely deserves, and especially that last line right there. In the last 2 years has been the spark that lit the match that set women's sports on fire. Caitlin Clark is undeniable.
Fans weren't debating basketball anymore. They were questioning leadership. Then came the rumor that blew everything apart. Not a press release, not a confirmation, just enough insider chatter to set the internet ablaze. What if this drives players away from Team USA? The idea alone was explosive, benched on the biggest stage, criticized for emotion, and expected to stay silent. Analysts warned this is how trust fractures.
Extension during the last round of CBA negotiations in 2019 before the new deal was signed in January of 2020. So they did do an extension before to get a deal done, but it seems like they're at complete odds at this point, and that won't happen this time. If an extension is not reached, it could open the door for a potential work stoppage, either a strike initiated by the players. Now, if nothing happens, it is a strike. For all of you, oh no.
Behind the scenes, the tone changed. Reports surfaced of urgent talks, crisis messaging, league executives scrambling. Because once fans begin asking hard questions, control over the answers disappears. The pressure was no longer on the players. It landed on leadership. Then came the live response. Careful phrasing, a measured tone, acknowledgement that things could have been handled better, an apology, not an admission of fault, but a recognition of frustration. The commissioner spoke about standards. Adam Silver stressed unity and growth. To some fans, it felt overdue. To others, it felt forced. But one thing was obvious. They felt the heat. That's when the wildest speculation arrived.
Headliness spawn.
Clips were pulled out of context. Long pauses, restructures, and major changes. Not cancellations, but serious reevaluation.
League. The NBA owns another 40% of it, and then there's a group of investors that Kathy Engelbert got on board in 2022 who own another 18% of this league. So the WNBA, the revenue that they get, they only own 42% of that. So it's going to be very hard, and I've been saying this from the beginning. This is not just a WNBA players and WNBA owners conversation that is happening. There are so many other pieces to this puzzle. There are so many other big business people, NBA players, meaning NBA owners and people in this world. There are so many different players to the puzzle when it comes to trying to get these players a revenue split. It is much harder than just saying, oh yeah, sure, we'll give you a higher percentage. And the NBA players get 50% of that. The WNBA is not going to get close to that number, and they are not going to get close to that number for a very long time. I don't truly.
Analysts framed it this way. If momentum fractures now, the league has to safeguard the future. And suddenly, 226 became a symbol, not of cancellation, but of consequence. This isn't about one game. It's about trust. Trust that stars will be protected. Trust that passion won't be punished. Trust that growth won't be managed into silence. Fans aren't asking for perfection. They want fairness, and when that feels absent, everything rattles. Leadership heard the message. The apologies weren't weakness. They were necessity. Because in today's sports world, growth doesn't come from controlling stars. It comes from empowering them. And this moment forced the league to look in the mirror. So now it's on you. Was opening day mishandled? Did leadership respond too late? And did the league learn the lesson? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, if you believe stars deserve protection, subscribe, because this story is still unfolding. This wasn't just drama. It was a warning. And that's the thing. This isn't just about Aya Wilson or Caitlin Clark. This is about the WNBA evolving, about attention finally coming to women's basketball, about stars rising and narrative shifting. Fans are passionate, media is watching, and every move gets analyzed. The league is bigger than any one player, and moments like the Heat games show just how high the stakes are when popularity, legacy, and expectations collide. So, the question remains, will the established stars adapt and embrace the growth? Or will moments like this keep creating tension and headlines? One thing's for sure, the WNBA is here, it's growing, and the storylines are only getting more intense.